Hi, this is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. What if I told you that America is about to lose 16 million people's health insurance in one swoop, but here's why I'm actually optimistic about what comes next. Here's what's actually wild. We're watching Republicans try to pull off the most unpopular policy move in modern history. They're literally planning to rip healthcare away from millions of families while handing massive tax cuts to billionaires. And get this, even their own polling shows this big, beautiful bill is already toxic with voters before it's even passed. Ever notice how the most destructive political moves often backfire spectacularly? That's exactly what we're seeing here. This isn't happening because voters demanded it. Nobody was marching in the streets screaming, "Please take away my Medicaid." This is happening because extremists think they can ram through their unpopular agenda and somehow escape the consequences. But here's what's honestly crazy. They're doing this right after we just proved how much Americans actually love having healthcare. Remember the Obamacare repeal fights in 2017? Town halls packed with furious voters, Republican senators literally hiding from their constituents. That was just about the threat of losing coverage. Now we're talking about actually doing it. This is so absurd, it's almost inspiring, because it's going to create the clearest possible choice for voters. You literally cannot make this stuff up. They're taking health insurance from working families to give tax breaks to people who already have more money than they know what to do with. The political stupidity is breathtaking. And here's the thing that gives me hope. We've been through this exact cycle before. Every major advance in American healthcare has faced massive resistance, then become so popular that politicians can't touch it. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all of them were called socialist disasters that would bankrupt America. Now they're the third rail of politics. Ever notice how the programs Republicans attack most viciously are the ones people love most? That's because these policies actually work. Obamacare drove uninsurance rates to historic lows, protected people with pre-existing conditions, and saved countless lives. You don't attack something this hard unless it's really threatening your worldview. This is honestly the best thing that could happen for building support for universal healthcare. Nothing clarifies the stakes like watching millions of people actually lose coverage. It's going to be a massive mobilization moment. Think the Women's March energy, but sustained and focused on healthcare. Here's what's incredible. We already know the solutions. Medicare for all, robust public options, expanding Medicaid everywhere. The blueprints exist, the public support is there, and now we're about to get the clearest possible demonstration of why we need them. What if I told you that some of the biggest progressive victories in history came right after conservatives overreached? The New Deal followed the Great Depression. The Civil Rights Act followed massive resistance. Marriage equality followed years of constitutional amendments banning it. This feels like one of those moments. When you're willing to make millions of people's lives worse just to give tax cuts to the rich, you're not just being cruel, you're being politically reckless. And that recklessness is going to create the conditions for something much better to emerge. The healthcare we build after this disaster is going to be stronger, more popular, and more comprehensive than anything we could have achieved without this clarifying moment. This is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Peace. You can sign up for Dan by scanning this QR code.